Hi, this is the Sprint to Innovate workshop called the Pitch 101 workshop. My name is Al McLeod. This pitch workshop was authored a few years ago by Matt Scobrook, a local entrepreneur, and he was a North Forge pitch coach at the time. So here's our agenda. First, we'll talk about your presentation and narrative. How do you tell a compelling story and engage your audience? Essential content, what information do you need to include, and how do you create a impactful slide deck? So first, your presentation and narrative. You want to keep time, make sure that you get in at that 7 minutes. It's not easy, but it can be done. You want to think about where do you want to focus your time. You want to make sure that you don't spend all your time in the problem and then don't talk about the solution. The solution is more valued on the judge's scoring rubric than the problem. You want to focus on why your solution matters and the impact it will have, and spend about 30 seconds per slide on average. So you notice in my pitch example I gave you, I told you some facts and research, but the bulk of the time was about the actual app itself and why it met the mark for the crisis of that we're dealing with in this app. In this solution. So let's talk about compelling narratives. You want to tell a story through your pitch. Don't just recite the facts. You want to incorporate a hook in your first 15 seconds or so to grab attention. Make an emotional connection by making your story relevant and personal. And remember your why. You want to speak clearly and slowly. Record yourself speaking. Can you understand yourself perfectly? Can others? You want to make eye contact, well, virtually if it's to the camera, like I'm doing now, or in person to the judges or whoever's making the decisions. And then you want to practice your pitch. Don't go overboard in scripting. Don't memorize word for word, or it's too easy to forget it. Put your key points on the slides to help you remember. And record yourself pitching and listen back. Practice in front of a live audience to gain confidence. So when you're answering questions, your mentors can help you with this. So lean on them. They'll be able to ask some realistic questions. You can start to think about how you might answer them. Plan ahead, anticipate questions you might get asked, give clear and direct answers, speak with confidence, and I don't know is an okay response. And if you have more information in your pitch deck, you may include it after the end of your deck in case you get a question. You can go ahead to that content to respond. So let's talk about what essential content there is. The first is your problem. What's making your audience look to you for an innovative solution? And this information comes from your secondary research and customer research. Why are they seeing this as a problem? What hurdles are they facing, or what opportunities do they see? What's the challenge statement you've been tasked with solving, and how have you reframed that challenge statement? How are you dealing with it? You don't want the judges to have to connect the dots about the problem and solution. You've got to connect the dots for them. So let's talk about your target audience. Who has the problem that you want to solve? You want to know in detail the needs and requirements of the client who proposed your innovation challenge and provide critical analysis. They don't know what they don't know. So do you know what they don't know? You should. Simon Sinek created this model called the Golden Circle. And in there, he's created a model that you can use to explain your solution. Why is your purpose? Why do you exist? Why are you doing this project? How is process? How will your why become a reality? What are you going to do? And what is the result? What have you built that solves the process? So in this case, why? We're looking at why the solution matters to your audience, how you're solving the problem, and what your solution is. So the why is the solution matters because we want to improve the veterinary health system for all stakeholders. We want to provide new pet owners with guidance and support to help them navigate the challenges of pet ownership. Will help every stakeholder. How will add new digital capabilities to the existing Vetter platform and leverage the rich health data to provide an improved digital platform for vets and develop a mobile app for pet owners. And the what is a new digital platform that will modernize and streamline veterinary services and a new mobile app that will help pet owners to connect to those services and be much better informed and confident pet owners. and it includes a bunch of different services. So you get the idea as the why, the how you're solving it, because we're extending the vendor platform, and then what your solution is, talking in more detail about the solution and how it will solve the problem. So market validation, how do you know you have a solution that solves the customer's problem? Primary market research, interviews, surveys you consult, direct questions, and secondary market research. Those are things that were done during the empathy stage. So you should have that information all collected. But you build your pitch stronger if you have research that supports the what of the golden circle. What makes you know your solution will have the impact you need? So unique value, how do you stand out from alternatives? So what makes your solution an unfair advantage? Cost or ease of use or reliability? Well, the interesting thing about in our case is the unfair advantage. Part of that is the fact that Vetter is already in the market working with veterinarians, and their objective is to actually help veterinarians and pet owners together by providing a better platform for veterinarians and adding the mobile services for customers. So in essence, what you're doing is you're leveraging your existing relationship with pet owners. Sorry, with the veterinarians, and you already have data in the application system Vetter. So how to make impactful slide decks. So the rule of three is kind of this overarching rule that's talked about all the time that makes it easier for the audience to retain 3 information points per slide. That's kind of what this rule of 3 means. There's very little text used in the slides, and use images to help tell a story. You want to use eye-catching background and use of effective contrasting colors. Use numbers to help make your point, and less is more with words used. Set a goal to have less than 10 words per slide. Use graphs and numbers to emphasize your point, and contrasting colors make key points stand out. So here's what the template for your pitch could look like. You don't have to make it exactly like this, but here's an example. Talk a bit about your team. You may have a team name and catchy solution name. Talk about your problem for a couple minutes. Company challenge statement. Who's the customer? How did you reframe the problem statement? And what is the important problem to solve? So our solution next, and take some time, hopefully more time than the problem. You talked about what is our solution, show your demo, make sure that you're not showing stuff that doesn't matter, like how to log in and all that kind of stuff. How does it solve the problem? What proof do you have? Are there insights or customer quotes? How is it innovative? And then you can talk a bit about a retrospective, assuming you have time. So the judging rubric, first of all, is understanding of the problem is 20% of the score. Did you explain why it's an important problem to solve? Secondly, how well does the solution solve the problem? It's 50% of the score. Did you use a prototype to explain the solution? Number 3 is how innovative is the solution? 20%. And is it clear why the solution is innovative? Is it new and doesn't exist? Like, is it something completely new, or have they used something existing but in a different or modified way, or connected to things, or how have you innovated? And then finally, pitch clarity and creativity, 10%. And that's it. Thank you very much, and good luck with your pitch, everyone.